Hey there, Roger Burnley here, and I have another video for you. Today we're going to discuss classical singing, or more legitimate singing, and how that affects if you're a pop singer. And also, do you need to have classical training or classical singing when you're working on your pop career? Or we're going to discuss all of those things. Now, again, as I always say, the information I give you, I know it's great information and it works for basically everyone, but you are going to be you're an individual. Your voice may need some additional work, adjustments, or whatever it might be. So if you'd like to work with me personally, be sure and check the links before so you can set something up. But let's go into this a little bit. Now, I had classical training when I was much younger. It wasn't what I wanted to do, but I appreciated the fact that I had it. It did teach me quite a bit. But it also gave me helped me develop a few problems, you might say, when I was then going into doing more the pop music, jazz, or R&B, because I would still kind of sing with this, really kind of big voices. A lot of times people would say, gee, you're singing a pop song, but you sound a little classical as you're doing it. That was the remnants of that training that still stayed with me. Now let me explain why that happens. I've worked with many, many people over the years who wanted to make a transition from their classical singing or operatic singing into more of a pop sound. Some got there quickly, some it took a little more work because of the habits they had developed. Basically, when you're learning classical, you're learning a whole lot of support and projection. And if you're on Broadway, you're going to really use quite a bit of that. So in order to accomplish that, you're using what I call it exaggerated diaphragmatic support system, where you're really getting this big air to come through, where you're really expanding that diaphragm and pushing your sound out. The other thing is you hear the sound, this great big sound, and as you're developing that, you will not be aware that sometimes what's happening is that you're developing or developing the habit of using these swallowing muscles under here, and that's going to really get in the way for you when you're then trying to shift and sing more popular music. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of examples here. I'm just going to do this on an A first. I'm going to show you how I'll change my placement, because when I'm bringing someone who has had a lot of classical training into pop, I will do these weird things like say, okay, now close your mouth. They go, why? That doesn't seem to make sense. I was always told I have to have this big open sound. Well, that was true, but you probably developed some habits doing that. And I'll show you what I mean. Hey, 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 hey. I'm very aware that I have all of this sound coming here. Hey, hey. And then, but I don't really do it because I've also retrained myself. But typically what will happen for a lot of people is then you're also using these swallowing muscles. You have to understand that when they come down, they're going to block off your air, block off your sound, so it's going to make everything a little more difficult. So then what I'll have people do is say, okay, we're going to change that a little bit. It's going to feel a little weird to you, because I have them do, I use a lot of times weird faces because I want people to feel the difference in how we want the sound to start to move through their body. So let me change it a little bit. See how closed I am. I'm hearing the sound staying, the vibrations are staying up here rather than being too far back in my throat. At a certain point, very few people do this, but you can do it, okay? You will be able to, if you understand your voice enough, you can switch back and forth. But again, you will notice that there are very few really huge singers who will do that and do it really easily, or where it's believable. That's what I mean. But it is possible. So I do want you to know that if you train your voice enough, you can accomplish that as well. So practice this and make these changes if you're trying to go into your pop sound. And I know this will help you, and I'll see you real soon. Now, if you would like to work with me personally to develop the voice of your dreams, be sure and check the links below. Also, be sure and engage, leave comments, and share this with your friends. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you real soon.